So I know I'm a bit behind as everyone has reacted to this video already, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents. I did actually film the sound like 3 days ago, but it sounded awful, so I'm doing it again. Obviously, I want to just say thank you to Iri Pepperoni. I really appreciate them putting this video together. It's made my life a lot easier, so let's get into it.
I'm here to talk to you about something I'm being accused of that I find very horrible, and I just want to explain my side. And this actually will be the last that I actually discuss of this matter,
I bet my life it isn't.
because what people are saying is 100% not true. Because what people are doing is blowing something so out of proportion and causing a lot of false outrage. And there's a lot of mob mentality that is following me from YouTube to this platform. Despite not liking me, they seem to follow me instantly. It's always the haters who follow first.
The reason we've followed you over here is because you don't allow anyone to comment in your YouTube lives. So we've come over to somewhere where maybe we can comment. And obviously you've turned the comments off because you just don't want to hear that you're wrong, even though you're obviously wrong. How many people have to tell you that you're wrong before you actually believe it? Anyway, so we've come over here, yes, but it's also to make sure that people know what sort of person you are. You're awful.
And while I don't want to give any more of my mental health to my haters, because I've done this for many years and it's done nothing but destroy my mental health further and just make things even worse. The people from YouTube who have been trying to ruin my reputation.
2 things. So mental health is extremely important. This is something that she's been dealing with for a little while. She also had the money to go and try and get it sorted out, you know, obviously go to a therapist, etc. But she chose not to. She chose not to take her meds, and she's not really helping herself in any way. So as much as I understand that mental health is very important, I don't really feel like it's relevant when it comes to this. And secondly, she's saying that we are trying to ruin her reputation. If you know anything about Chantal, you'll know that she's done that all on her own.
With false outrage over on YouTube are now on TikTok trying to do the same thing, going as far as hashtagging animal abuser. So to make a long story short, recently I got married and moved to the Middle East to be with my husband.
So in August last year, Chantal came on to say that she was going to meet a man abroad and they were going to get married. That lasted for about 2 weeks until he found out like what she was really like. Next month in September, she says that she's found someone and she's going to get married, and she goes to Kuwait for 3 months, which meant that she left her 2 cats with her roommate for 3 months.
Fell in love with. I actually did a story about it on my YouTube channel, FoodieBeauty. Maybe some of you already are aware of me. I want to first say that I'm not perfect, and I have said and done things that I'm not proud of in my past. I am trying to move past that.
This video is going to be long enough as it is, so I will be doing a top 5 or top 10 things you should know about FoodieBeauty in the next week or so, but I won't go into everything that she's done. I mean, there's a lot of awful things, but let's just focus on this awful thing for now.
I do find that as I'm trying to better myself, that seems to anger people more, and they try to bring me down more. So I'm a recent Muslim revert, and I'm just trying to focus on Allah and my husband and my life here in Kuwait. I'm from Canada, by the way, if you aren't familiar with my story. There's a lot to unpack, but basically the allegations of animal abuse actually do hit home a little bit. I will not let it affect me anymore, because I know in my heart that I do love animals and I've always taken care of my pets. I am highly villainized by a certain group of people who target me, and I've been targeted for years, in particular by one person who I will not name. I will not name the boogeyman.
Chantal will often bitch about the community that has surrounded her in the last couple of years, and I don't think she understands that this is a community that she's built because of the way she is and the things she does.
This person is very vile. They've been bullying and targeting me for years. Their entire YouTube channel is a hate channel that they pass off as valid criticism.
So French Fry Girl is the person she's talking about, and the reason that she actually got involved with Foodie was because she had obviously been watching her, didn't really do a reaction channel at the time, spoke to Foodie when she realised the person that she was previously dating had been arrested for stabbing, I think it was 2 people, or stabbing a person twice. So obviously FFG rung her up and they had an hour conversation, kind of, you know, she just warned her basically. And then Foodie said thank you for that by doxing her and giving the past boyfriend FFG's number.
Go after my family. They mispronounced my Syrian husband's name, Salah, which means prayer in Islam, by the way. They called him Salad, right in her face.
I don't care how many times she says this. FFG changing, or whatever it was that happened, that she changed Salah's name to Salad, is not Islamophobic or racist or anything else you want to call it.
This person is a high school mean girl bully, miserable with themselves, and they project, her and her audience project on me every day. They steal my content and they make fun of me with it. So those same people here are coming on here and using animal abuse as a form of justifying their own vile actions towards me. So to make a long story short, I moved to the Middle East. A lot of people didn't think that that was the right choice for me. Again, you cannot dictate how somebody lives their life. I had gotten out of a year-long abusive relationship.
A 5-day relationship that you couldn't let go, so you stalked him for over a year.
And I prayed to God.
She's never mentioned God once on her channel, so this is just a load of rubbish as well.
To send me somebody to take care of me, and he sent me Salah. I prayed Salah, and he sent me Salah. And this person has been nothing but protective of me. And already those same people make videos. He's scamming her. He doesn't love her. We're writing down the date. Today is September 5th, so September 5th is our anniversary date. Honestly, I have to check when I met him. Doesn't matter. You could fall in love with anyone instantly. This may be something crazy for you. Let me explain it this way. This might be something crazy for you. I think this is just how I am. You know, I'm spontaneous, and it is possible. Come on, dude. It is possible. He's a scam. I know what you're thinking. Fuck, I know, blah, blah, blah. But he comes here, and he treats me right, and he really is faithful to me, and he's sweet, and he makes a good fucking husband. Who cares? All right, I know that sounds like bullshit, but it's a good bullshit, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna believe it anyway. Could he possibly touch her? She's fat, she's gross. The amount of body shaming in this community is horrendous, yet I'm the vile one. The animal abuse allegations started when I announced publicly that I would have to rehome my pets. Now, one of them is 5 years old, and I easily could rehome him. I did find him a very good home with somebody that, a friend of the family's. Now, I also had another cat, BBJ, who I've had since 2004. She was my first cat since being on my own. When I got her, she was 1 to 2 years old. I rescued her from a shelter. She's a beautiful Nebelong and gray long hair cat, and she's 21 years old approximately now. So she's lived a very good long life with me. Now, my mental health is not good, and it's recently declined a lot. So I, at some point, neglected my home, and some people think that I neglected my pets. Now,
We don't think, we know. I'll be putting a link to the vet report that FFG got regarding BBJ, and the vet basically said that the home that she was at before, which was Chantal's, she was obviously neglected.
Explain why they say that. So what happened was this complete psycho bully from YouTube.
Sorry, psycho bully that tried to warn you that the person you were with was a violent man, whom you later wanted to press charges against because you said he abused you. What has FFG done, really, apart from treating BBJ the way you should have?
Actually, is always trying to insert herself in my life. I had a fashion show one time back in Canada, plus size fashion show, and she actually showed up and filmed the fashion show. Then before I could go and put my own content on the fashion show that I was actually in, she actually went on her channel and called it Fatty Fashion Show and just made a complete joke of it and fat shamed everybody.
Lucky for you, bitch, I've got the actual footage, so now we can really see what happened, can't we?
I'm not editing my vlog today. I'll do it tomorrow morning when I get up. Yeah, 7G showed up. And not besties. I saw her like, whatever, it's fucking YouTube, honestly. Like, who you are in person is different than online. It just is. It just is. Have any of you showed up for my fashion show today? FFG did. So who's the fan now? Nobody else did. Actually, she was sitting beside Pete and said, when I was coming down, because you're gonna see how it goes, but you have to come down the runway, and then it was just like a little makeshift thing, but then like, they were like, you! She went right at the end of the runway. Everyone's a clout chaser. I just want to be nicer, man. I just want to be fucking nice to everybody. I just want to be nice. I feel like shit when I'm angry with everybody. I was like, do you want, with my idea, like, do you want a selfie with me for your profile? So I have like a good size of vlog, but I'm gonna do it tomorrow. If I can like be cool with fucking FFG at my fashion show, what did FFG smell like? Actually, she smelled like fresh laundry. I remember smelling the laundry detergent, I think, yeah, like some kind of body spray, I don't know. Address the positive comments on the fashion show. Address how you get positive comments when you follow through on things. I know. McChrissie, I just watched everybody's video. Oh, she put a video too? I like this outfit. It really accentuates my shape.
I mean, Chantal was in the city. Like, they were in the same city. There's no reason why FFG wouldn't go to that. And she was very supportive of Chantal. I mean, Chantal was in the city. Like, they were in the same city. There's no reason why FFG wouldn't go to that. And she was very supportive of Chantal. I do want to say that FFG was very supportive of Chantal while she was out there.
So I never said I was going to beat her ass. Are you kidding? Did I? I don't remember saying that. Anyways, this whole fashion show wasn't about FFG. This was about rock and roll and celebrating plus size bodies, including FFG's plus size body. And it looked like she was having a good time, and everyone should celebrate their plus size body. And she was just another super.
So because you choose to go live and show every single thing to your fans, you've been proved wrong again. She was there for you. She was nice to you. She even said that she would wait until midday to post a video so that you could get the video up first because it was your fashion show. But you were too lazy. You hadn't edited content for over a year, and you took your time on it, and FFG said, fuck it, I'm posting my video. End of. You're a disgusting liar that lies.
I befriended my ex-best friend as well.
Your ex-best friend Shannon was worried that you were getting abused because you told her you were getting abused by this person that FFG had already told you about. When she told people, you then got mad at her and said that she was lying, and she decided she wasn't going to stand for it, so she no longer wanted to be your friend. Get over it.
The list goes on of the invasive things she's done to insert herself in my life. Now, going further, she found out that I may have to rehome BBJ. So I did come to Kuwait before, and I had to return back to Canada.
The sad thing is, this little gremlin wouldn't have even come back if she didn't have to. Legally, she had to come back because she couldn't be in Kuwait for more than 3 months. So she came back and took care, in quotes, of her house and her cats. But she couldn't even do that right. She was there for a month. Didn't think of anyone else but herself.
So I returned back to Canada for about a month. And in that time, I was going to close up everything I had to do there, including what to do with the pet.
People were really concerned about BBJ when you were in Kuwait, and you promised all of your VIBs that you were going to make sure that she got to the vet as soon as you got back. The first thing you did when you got back was took edibles and got high on a live. You then proceeded to take another 4 weeks to even think about taking her to the vet. The only reason you did that was because you knew that somebody was going to pick her up and see what bad condition she was in. Again, it was to protect yourself. It wasn't because you were thinking of BBJ at all.
That would be in their best interest to not have them travel the 17 to 20 hours it would take, depending with the layover time, to come to Kuwait.
Nobody expected you to take the cats to Kuwait. I don't know why you mention this. Like, you've done something good by not putting them through that. Nobody would put their cat through that. Fucking idiot.
And to live here in this apartment, it's a smaller place. So I thought that my cat Sam would be happy with someone else. And BBJ, I wasn't too sure. She's had a lot of health problems. I could tell she's been declining. I've lived with her for 20 years. I suspected she had arthritis because she did limp a little bit. Part of that, her claws, as I read, older animals, their claws actually grow a lot longer because they don't scratch.
So knowing that you were going away for 3 months, why didn't you initially get this done before you went? Because you knew they were growing longer, so you knew that she'd be in pain. But you didn't care because you'd found a man that can put up with you.
She stopped scratching. My other cat, Sam, his claws were fine. I'm able to trim his claws. He's very calm. But with BBJ, what happened was this bully reached out to me offering to take BBJ, and I refused.
She also offered you $3,000 and an NDA, which you refused because you knew how it would make you look if it ever came out. But once again, you wanted to do something that helped you and not helped your cat.
I'm not going to give somebody who's been bullying me for years my pet to take care of.
Calling you out for your bullshit is not bullying.
Mind you, she did have 2 pets of her own that she ended up having to euthanize.
For somebody that's trying to introduce themselves to a new audience and make themselves seem like they're actually a good person, you're not doing very well, are you? Why do you not understand the fact that you were talking about putting BBJ down before you'd even taken her to the vet to find out what's going on? That isn't what happened with FFG. She was absolutely heartbroken when she lost her 2 dogs. So I don't understand why you keep bringing this up. It is psychotic to think that you already wanted your cat to be dead before you'd even found out what the vet had to say.
Me for wanting to take BBJ to the vet for a consultation on possible end-of-life consultation, depending on her well-being, because it's about her quality of life at this point, what kind of ailments she had, and to also get her nails taken care of.
Which you've had the time and money to do for months now and haven't.
When I was in Kuwait, I video timed with my roommate who was taking care of my pets for me, and I asked him to show me her nails. At the time, it was a little hard to see, but they looked fine to me. They looked like decent, like they could wait till I get home, and she does have long hair on her feet, so it's a little hard to see. Now BBJ, actually, anytime I touch her paws, she doesn't like that, and when I especially would try to cut her nails, she shrieks a lot, so it makes me very nervous to do it. So
once again, this is about your comfort and nothing to do with the comfort of the animal that you've loved for 20 years.
I prefer to have it done by a veterinarian. So when I got home from Kuwait, I made an appointment to see a specific vet in my hometown, the vet I know that has seen her before and has her file. So I did it, it was a few weeks, maybe 3 weeks later, and when her appointment was. And that was to see if she was able to be rehomed or if I should euthanize her.
Every time she mentioned euthanizing this cat, she was so calm, and I don't understand that at all. As someone that's had pets myself, the idea of putting a pet down breaks my heart every time. And the idea of saying that I want to put a pet down before the vet has even told me what's going on is psychotic, and I will repeat that. The actions that you've shown are those of a psychopath.
And to me, that is my choice as a pet owner. Yeah, I was villainized by these people over and over and over. And the reason is for their own selfish motivation, because they make money off of creating drama and verbally abusing me.
If you'd have acted like a normal, sane human being, nobody would have talked about it, but you didn't. You just showed again how selfish you are. You've proved that time and time again over the years. I don't get why you would think that we're going to allow this to happen.
This is how they make a living. This person makes an insane amount of money being an internet bully, mean girl.
I understand why you've said it like this, because you want people that are overweight to think that you're being bullied and to side with you because they've obviously been bullied in school and they don't want that to be continuing. But from what Shannon said, you were the mean girl, you were the bully, don't you remember? So the fact that you're calling FFG a mean girl is fucking hilarious. She offered you $3,000 and to pay for all the vet's bills to get the cat to the vet. How is that a mean girl?
That whole community on YouTube is extremely toxic. I digress. The point is to talk about this animal abuse. So what's being done is false outrage. So because I told this bully, no, she cannot have my pet, she actually did something vile and deceitful. And she actually had one of her family members, her sister-in-law, persistently message me through Instagram DMs, reassuring me that she's this lonely woman, she's very ill in bed, she would be able to really take care of BBJ. Just very reassuring, sent me pictures and things like that of her home. You know, I really wanted to take the time to make sure that she would be suitable, and I fell for it. And so this bully of mine, so I had a vet appointment set up, right? Remember this.
You'd been home for nearly a month already and you hadn't sorted out a vet appointment, so maybe they should remember that instead.
So whenever I agreed to rehome my pet BBJ to this person who I trusted, to have, you know, if I had known they had anything to do with this psycho, sorry for lack of a better term, but I can't think of any other word for that kind of behavior. And it's really weird that more people don't see it, but anyway, it was set. She wanted to pick up the cat right away, said she would take care of all the vet bills, and I did actually, in my DMs with her, say, well, you want to pick up the cat tomorrow? I actually have a vet appointment tomorrow to bring BBJ to have her checked out and to have her nails trimmed, because I did have another look at the nails, or tried to as best as I could, and it did look like they were growing into the pads, and this did happen once before.
So you've now admitted that you've not been looking after your cats properly in the past either, because you've allowed it to happen, and you didn't learn from that. You ended up losing your biggest supporter because she found out you'd done this to your cat. Does that not say anything? You've lost so many people because of how you act, and you say that it's people just not being real fans. Everybody has a limit. you abused your cats. That's most people's limit.
In BBJ's later years, because I didn't realize how fast they were growing. Like Sam's nails, my younger cat, his nails were fine. They grow at a normal rate. He scratches and scratch both the furniture, everything, you know. But hers, the nails get really coarse and they grow at a very rapid rate because of that. So they were overgrown. And yes, I do feel bad for that.
Right, let's set the scene. You found out that the pet that you've been looking after for 20 years has just had a vet's visit and they've got 5 nails growing into their paw pads. You'd probably ask, one of the first things a normal person would ask would be, how is the cat? Not once does she ask how the cat is. When she finds out that FFG has got this cat, she just rages, she shouts at FFG, she insults everyone else, blames everyone else. Not once does she ask about the cat in a 7-minute live.
Does that make me a horrible animal abuser? And no, it doesn't, because this one incident, or even 2 incidents of the nails being an issue, again, I was away in Kuwait for 3 months.
I'm sorry, Chantal, did someone force you to go to Kuwait? You made that date to go. You knew exactly when you were going. You could have left yourself more time to take the cat to the vet, but you didn't. And you also knew that leaving the cat with Pete's wasn't a good idea. He's mentally not where he needs to be, and he can barely look after himself, which he's mentioned many times before. So this is all on you. As much as you want to say that you're in Kuwait and Pete's was looking after them for 3 months, this is on you. This is your fault. It all is.
So I didn't really have the scope of the situation until I came back.
And you were actually forced to deal with it because people were holding you to what you'd promised.
And even if you think I should have taken her right away instead of a couple of weeks later, a few weeks later, whatever, that still doesn't make me a horrible animal abuser.
I know people don't like when pets are likened to children, but for some people, their pets are their children. So hypothetically, imagine you've got a toddler and you found out the toddler has some nails in their feet. They've stood on 5 nails and they're limping around. You can see they're in pain. But you decide to wait a couple of weeks before you take them to get seen by a doctor. Would you think that that was abusive if you heard that someone had done that? Because I definitely know I fucking would.
Because there are actual people out there who really abuse their animals. And not just that, I've taken really good care of her for 20 years. My pets love me.
Your pets love you because you feed them, and so you're the only person that they know. Do you not think that people that abused love the people that abuse them? Do you not think that's a possibility? Because you know they do. You're proof of that, aren't you?
My best to give them the best life that they could. So for people to just completely dismiss my entire ownership of these cats for the past years and years, when they've been following me on vlogs, taking care of them, being happy, playing, etc., now all of a sudden my cat abuser, because of the nails.
I've already put way too much effort into looking through her last 2 years of lives, but there are so many lives that she has had her VIBs begging her to take the cats to the vet, and they've given her money purposely for taking the cats to the vet, and she hasn't done that. And this isn't just a one-off, like, oh, you should get the cats looked at. This has been going on for months, but she's never wanted to do anything unless it was beneficial for her.
So back to the story. Basically, I know it's hard to follow. It's just ridiculous to me. Like, I just can't even believe I'm having to talk about this. Having to rehome your pets is a distressing thing enough to do. Like, people act like I was happy to do it and just ditch my pets for a man. No, this is my soulmate. Thank you very much. And I have a right to be happy in my life.
You've just proved our point. You're just a disgusting human being and you only care about your own happiness. So you found a man that's half decent that'll put up with your shit. So you've just chucked away everything. Your best mate who you no longer speak to, who is really suffering. Your cats you couldn't give a fuck about. Didn't even fuck around with, like, actually trying to make the house look nice for people that have really tried to help you. You're disgusting.
Circumstances change in life, and moving here is something that I want to do for my life, and we're also going to be traveling, so this is for their best interest. I don't believe in prolonging a cat's life if they're not going to have the quality of life at that age, and they're just going to have to be euthanized. Don't want to burden someone with that.
When Chantal was back, you would see this cat in the background, and you would see that as much as she was limping, she's not 100%, of course she's not, I get that she's not a cat, but she was fine. She was nowhere near needing to be put down. And the fact that Chantal wanted to put her down because it would have been easier for her, and she could have hidden the fact that she hadn't actually looked after that cat at all for the last couple of years, is fucking crazy. And that's something I think that really needs looking into. But it just shows how awful she is.
With all the vet bills, etc. This person insisted I should have maybe had a red flag.
Or just spent like 1 minute actually looking into who this person was, but you didn't because you just wanted to get rid of the cat and make it as easy as possible for yourself.
So the person refused whenever I said, I'm going to take the cat to the vet before you pick her up. And I have the DM here. They refused, and here's why they refused. Because this bully relies on creating false outrage or scenarios out of contrived drama to get views. So she's actually exploiting my cat and her problems for money and views at this point. It's actually disgusting.
Nope, you're completely wrong once again. The reason she didn't want you to take the cat to the vet is because you'd threatened to put the cat down, even when she probably didn't need it. You'd been joking about it for the last few days about how you wanted to euthanize the cat. So strangely enough, she didn't want you taking the cat to the vet. We all know that you're not making much money anymore, so any money you would have had to spend on the cat, you wouldn't have done. Luckily, FFG was happy to spend money on that cat and take the cat to the vet and find out what was really going on. And if we're going to talk about exploiting the cat weren't you doing that from the start? How many times have you sent money to take the cat to the vet and you didn't, so you just pocketed the money? And also, just another thing that I've looked into, so you did your live for 7 minutes when you absolutely flipped out and threatened to ring the police because FFG had stolen your cats. No, she hadn't. You gave the cat away. You made over $300 on that. So aren't you exploiting the cats?
What happened was this bully sent her brother to come pick up my cat. This person dressed up in disguise and hid behind a snowbank near my home.
I'm pretty sure she just sat in the back of the car, but okay.
And she basically stole my cat through deception. And she'll use the excuse, well, you gave the cat away. There's really nothing I can do about it. So because it's out of my control, I leave the rest up to God now. That's my new motto. That's how I try to live my life. Do I get emotional and get upset? And yeah, I do. And sometimes I lash out. I mean, I'm human. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm not an angel. But I do have the sincere want to change as a person and become better, which is more than I can say for a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. FFG is such a bitch. How dare she pay thousands in vet bills to try and make sure that this cat is okay and give her a better life? What a fucking evil cunt.
Just want to keep dragging me down to their level. And sometimes it works. I'm not gonna lie. So she has the cat. Maybe the next day or a couple days later, she goes online and reveals her big plan. And she's the biggest hero for saving BBJ. She really emphasizes how the cat was screaming when she took her to the vet because she had 5 of her claws that were embedded in the pads from being overgrown.
I would really like to encourage anybody after they've watched this video to go and look at what a cat's claw being embedded into a paw actually looks like, because it's disgusting. And that was just one. So imagine that times 5. I can't imagine how painful that would have been for this cat. Bearing in mind as well that Foodie would feed this cat on top of a kitchen counter, so that poor cat had to jump up onto the counter every day to get fed.
And the cat always screams anyway anytime I touch her paws to cut her nails, even when they weren't overgrown. And I did explain this in another video before. So now she's milking this to the max, even though I said I would take the cat to the vet and have her looked at, make sure she's rehomable. But no, because if I had done that, then this bully would not have more content to milk and to try to ruin my reputation with, now with this hashtag of animal abuse.
We've seen over the last few years that you don't often get consequences for the awful human being that you are, but you're now getting that. People are getting to see how disgusting you are and how little you care about anyone or anything unless it benefits you. So you're getting exactly what you deserve.
So you can hashtag all you want, you can cancel me all you want. I've been cancelled thousands of times before. And
if you've been cancelled thousands of times before, then does that not say to you that you're a bad person? You don't just get cancelled for nothing.
And you're not going to prevent me from speaking my mind and being here for my fans and my followers and people who enjoy me and understand that I'm not an animal abuser. That's the story. Imagine somebody targeting you for years, bullying you and body shaming you, coming for your family, stealing your content every day to use it against you. How that would affect your mental health if you let it. I refuse to let it anymore.
Imagine hating the person that had given your cat a better life. She's always going to hate FFG. And when she says about stealing content, when this woman makes 5 or 6 hour lives daily, there's only so much that you can watch. And luckily, there are channels that do edit that down to the important bits. I mean, often there aren't anything important, but we do try. But the fact that she's so angry at FFG is ridiculous. This woman initially tried to help you. She tried to save you or help you to get away from an abusive partner. And you doxed her.
Then, going through the process, when I was home for a month in Canada, I had so many things to tie up. I was a financial mess. I was an emotional mess. I deal with mental health and eating disorder. I am a mess. I'm a train wreck. And I realize this is why people watch me, but I'm still a human being. And I loved my pets. And
so much of a financial mess that she was buying takeaways every day and eating edibles on lives many times when she lied to her viewers to say that she wasn't doing them. No wonder she had no time to do the things she actually should have been doing.
I still wake up every day, in a little bit of disbelief that they're not here. So, to have that traumatic experience, it was traumatic for me to have to do that. To know that your elderly cat that you only wanted to do the best for, whether that was rehoming her, she was fit, or whether to put her down in humane euthanasia, and being called a cat killer for humane euthanasia, even though this bully euthanized her 2 pets. So the hypocrisy is just outstanding, and it's just a toxic community.
A community that you created by being toxic.
And it's not something I want to address anymore, and it's not something I will be on this video or series of videos. It's just not going to happen. And like I said, cancel me, do what you want, but just leave me alone. And if you can't, that's fine. I will just block and just focus on God and my newfound journey and my husband and you guys, my followers. There's some of you who have been here for me through the whole thing.
Oh, hang on. My bad. Is this too much? Just a little bit. It didn't feel good.
Trash, throw it away. Clout chaser.
I've been on social media for since 2017, and it's not easy. It's so cutthroat, but it is rewarding for people like you guys. You know who you are, and also it's gotten me through a lot of tough times. You know, the other side of the coin. You know, the other side of the coin is that it's gotten me through a lot of tough times. It's gotten me through a lot of tough times. You know, the other side of the coin. You know, the other side of the coin is that it's gotten me through a lot of tough times, and it's given me an outlet to talk about a lot of things. So that I appreciate. As for the BBJ situation, people rely on verbally abusing me, body shaming me, targeting me, creating drama that will get them clicks and views, even if it's false. There's so many things that are false. It's like a really crappy version of the tabloids, if that can even be possible for me to say crappy version of the tabloids, because tabloids are crappy. So anyways, if you're here, I hope you listen to my story and I hope you understand. And that's about it. So I plan on doing more content here. I really like TikTok, and I think people are just trying to ruin my reputation on here.
All we've been doing is showing your content. We've been showing clips of your content, things that you've said and done. If that makes you look bad, then whose fault is that?
And you can make your own judgment, but I'm not an animal abuser, and I refuse to label myself that. And I refuse to listen to any future negativity towards me in regards to that, anywhere.
So Foodie did a live around her flat and she showed her hamster's cage, and it's full of bedding because people have said about the hamster not having any bedding, so she's just gone over the top. There's also half an apple in there. You're only meant to give hamsters apples like once a week because there's a lot of sugar. And also you're meant to make sure that there's no seeds in there. If you're given half an apple, I doubt she's taking the seeds out. So just another way of her showing that she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. And she can't be fucked to go on Google to actually learn how to do something properly. And also, as of March the 21st, she has deleted all of her videos about BBJ. I think she's obviously been getting a lot of hate. I think people have called her out. So she'll do what she always does and she'll just delete it or block people. So just more proof that she was in the wrong. Thank you so much if you've watched this till the end. I understand this is old news now, but I really did want to kind of say how I felt about it. It's been kind of difficult the last couple of weeks to watch her. She doesn't put me in a very good mental state, and I know that's the same with others, which is one of the reasons I want to continue making these edits and making these reactions so that people can watch it and maybe not feel as crappy at the end of it. But yeah, it's been really nice to kind of get back into the swing of things, and I will speak to you all soon.